Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back once again to the Digital-Motorsports YouTube channel and back to the iDMC ProAM Winter Series. Of course, the ProAM Championship tonight. We had the Pro Championship last week here at Watkins Glen, and now we're sending our ProAMs around the international layout of Watkins Glen, the boot included. And really looking forward to seeing how the drivers are going to handle this one. A fantastic round last time out at Virginia, and we had our first double winner in the form of Jack Byrne winning from the back of the grid in the feature race as well. So we're going to see if anybody can match that tonight. My name's Jack Anand as well. Niall Maher, of course, alongside me doing the cameras in the background. So he'll be working hard as always this evening. And not to forget as well, Race Control, who are going to be hard at work today as well. Sean McGinley, who's also the steward for the Pro Class, and of course Peter McCann, Pro Series driver. Is big spin for Owen Murray there as he came over the crest of the hill. He just about managed to keep it out of the barriers there, but has to head back to pit lane now. But Peter McCann, Sean McGinley working hard in the steward's booth tonight, and great to have them, of course. Working hard on the incidents that might or may not transpire over the course of the race this evening. So, of course, 10-minute qualifying, 3 laps available to the drivers to set their best times. And currently it is Liam Matthews, the fastest man on track, 48.4. James Wingfield, the second fastest. Neil Ferrier, of course, just a few hundredths behind. So very, very close qualifying around here at Watkins Glen. And you'll see now Owen Murray, who just had his spin. He'll just go back out on his out lap again, warm the tyres up, which is very crucial, of course, to get temperature in those tyres and make sure that you don't loop it around. There's your fastest man at the moment, Liam Matthews, heading down the back straight at the moment. So you can see there, quite cool out there at the moment, 18 degrees Celsius, the track temperature 20 degrees Celsius, a little bit warmer than it would be at this time. I think we're in the early morning around here at Watkins Glen, which affects the track temperature, of course. So Liam Matthews in the 18.9 is the man who's currently the fastest out on track at the moment. He's on his second timed lap at the moment, just coming into the boot section now, which was an added on to the original circuit. Just of course, it has the heel, the toe, and the boot. The heel and the toe at the front, the hairpin then looping over the top, heading into the back sector. You can see where the national circuit just comes in on the back straight there. Now round the left-hander into the right-hander at the last corner right here. Flicks it into the right-hand side, going to run it right out to the barriers on the right-hand side. Careful not to do too much of that, because the wall is ready to greet you. This should be a faster time from Liam Matthews coming across the line. It's a 48.39. He goes slightly faster, just 700s quicker than his best before. James Wingfield not able to improve on his previous time, but he has another go. Ferrier is third. There is Neil in third spot, about to come through the last corner. He's just coming through the last corner now in the 91, and coming across the line to Det another time, 48.74. That was slower than his other time, 0.3 off his best. So he's got more time, and now just coming through turn 1 now. In certain cars, you can really run off on the runoff side there, but in these cars, you cannot do that. They will give you the off-track and invalidate lap. Up the hill we come then, and you can see how blind it is. This is deceivingly tricky. It's uphill, off camber at places as well, and then running down the back straight into the chicane, which is, you got to be brave through this one. A great overtaking opportunity here as well on the brakes. You can brake very late here, flick it into the right, back to the left, keep it tight to the left, and then back to the right again. Very smooth from Neil there, into the right-hander, and then we'll be joining the international, the boot section, over onto the left-hand side, dropping downhill, tight left coming up right now. It drops away from you very quickly, so you got to get it slowed down. You see the rear stepping out a little bit there for Neil, but he deals with it very nicely, on the power nice and early, and then down to the toe, which is the long hairpin uphill as well at the same time. Lay apex right, and then run it out to the left a bit as well. He clouted that curve. That will have cost him about half a tenth. If you hit that curve, it just lifts the wheels into the air and does not give you the best run. Then down into the right-hander, this 90-degree right-hander, one of the slowest corners on the track, these two here. Flicks it to the right, and then this uphill left, very tricky to get right. It's uphill as well, and very easy to lock up the tyres on the way in. Into the left-hand side he is. Liam Matthews is up on his time by a good bit as well. Over to the right-hand side, using all of the road there in his car. Liam Matthews to the top of 47.972. Wingfield improves to 48.2, but nobody's in the 47s apart from Liam Matthews. Back to the right-hand side into the last corner. Good lap from Neil Ferrier here, but is it going to be enough to get him up the order a bit? He needs to find 0.6 of a second, prove to pole position. Is it enough? It's a 48.740. It is not enough to improve, and he stays in 4th. So it looks like it is going to be Liam Matthews on the pole, unless somebody else is able to improve drastically. But it's Liam Matthews and James Wingfield. Top 2, Pat Masterson on the second row of the grid there. And there is Connor Murphy. Lovely to see Connor back. Been a long time since we had Connor Murphy on the grid. He's a long-time driver in the series, but nice to have him back on the grid. Remember him back in the GTE series all those years ago. And it's good, nice to see Connor Murphy back on the grid in number 11 and getting back up to speed again in that car. So through the last corner he comes then, and see if he's able to improve his position. See if he can nip ahead of Ronan Hederman here in his car. Comes across the start-finish line, 49.11, and goes to 8th and goes marginally faster than Ben McClockery, and only a 10th off of Jack Byrne, who sits in 7th at the moment, and himself and Chris McCann very, very closely matched in that one. And now practicing starts Connor Murphy in the number 11 car as we head to the end of qualifying in this one. Aaron Dalton just waiting for him to cross the line as well. We're waiting for Timothy England as well to get his car across the line as well. So just a minute left in qualifying, so this will be the last laps for these guys before we go back to before we head to the gridding. Owen Murray goes to 5th there in his last attempt. Goes to just behind Neil Ferrier, so goes to the 3rd row of the grid. Aaron Dalton not able to improve his position. And then a big lock-up from Timothy England across the line. He's not able to improve. It's just at the end of qualifying now, and then we'll be heading to the grid. So in the meantime, while we wait for the gridding to start, we'll be back very shortly after this short message from our sponsors.
They say that perfection doesn't exist in this game. Most players just don't have it in them. But those who dare to seek it might catch excellence. And that sounds perfect to me. So, I'm done playing. Let's drive.
Are you itching to get racing? Whether it's circuit racing, drifting, rallying, or even karting, here at Digital-Motorsports.com we run some of the best online leagues in the world. To get involved, visit our website at Digital-Motorsports.com and enroll for our next event.
Welcome back to the grid for heat race number 1. We look at the car of Liam Matthews ready and waiting on the front of the grid here. 2 minutes that they have, so some drivers will be waiting, but we're going to get immediately underway here. Liam Matthews on the left of your picture, James Wingfield on the right. It's heat race number 1 of the evening, the Pro-Am Championship. It is lights out and away. We got fantastic getaway from Liam Matthews. Terrible one for James Wingfield as they head towards turn number 1. It's there, Neil Ferrier with a great start from the second row of the grid. He slots up behind the cars in front, but Liam Matthews clean through turn number 1 there, and he gets a nice run out of turn 1, and away he goes. Compared to the field there, but James Wingfield getting slowly away from the field that time, and was not able to capitalise on his front row start. You see side by side he goes in the background, very close between. Oh, it's a big crash, big shunt involving James Wingfield and a couple of others there. There's going to be a multiple car shunt, multiple car pile up on the big straight there. Somebody got squeezed round there. I think it was Pat Masterson involved and James Wingfield, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Roland Hederman is in the wall. There's a car upside down as well in that one. That is a multiple car shunt involved right there. That's nearly half the grid gone on the first lap here in Watkins Glen, but no such problems for Liam Matthews, who leads away out front. Neil Ferrier now up to second, but utter carnage at the start of this race, and it's all gone wrong immediately. Not what we wanted to see, but Neil Ferrier, he up 2 positions chasing after Liam Matthews, who is your leader at this moment in time. And now we see that's the car in third now, believe it or not. There's a flash of green that I saw right there, it's Connor Murphy up to third. But look at all those cars in the pit lane. That is the entire grid involved in a massive shunt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 car pile up here on lap number 1 in the Pro-Am Championship. And that's about as bad as it gets in this one. That is huge. Victor Cullen is 4th, Damien McMullen 6th. And just crazy. Absolutely crazy. But not what we wanted to see. Just where the accident happened, it was the worst possible place for it to happen. On the top of the hill where everyone's blind, trying to make it work through there and not able to do it. Hopefully some of those guys get back out onto the circuit, but that means, well, the top 15 are inverted, so Van Kejesvar at the moment is your man on pole position. There you can see the race stewards are going to be very, very busy now. Lap 1 between car 15 and car 8 under investigation. There is the destroyed car of James Wingfield in the pit lane, but the stewards have a lot of work to do from that. Car 15 and car 8, the ones who are under investigation for that one. There's the contact over the hill between I believe Pat Masterson and James Wingfield. I think Masterson went around, Wingfield went to him, and the whole field followed them through trying to avoid, but it happens from time to time. I just didn't expect that 13 cars would be wiped out in the space of 20 seconds. And the damage model taking its effect as well, really taking no prisoners in this one. We still have our leader Liam Matthews out front at the moment comfortably. Neil Ferrier following him through, 1.3 behind. Chris McCann and Pat Marston back out on the circuit, as is Aaron Douglas. They see, look at all those cars leaving the pit lane now. All of these are involved in the lap 1 incident. They're all leaving at exactly the same time, so it's a race out of the pit road over all said and done. So now we will have a battle. For the reverse grid pole, which at the moment is Timothy England in that one. But this is going to be now, hopefully don't do it again, lads, as they file through here. Ronald Herderman about to get past Aaron Dalton here. Inside line for him, and that will be the inside line for the chicane as well for Ronan in the number 2 car. Dalton, though, is able to get in front of him later on the brakes into the chicane. Ronan not going to take a risk up the inside, and for now, but all these guys are all a lap down now, so the best they can do is 7th to this one, which is being led at the moment by Chris McCann, Masterson and Wingfield. So literally we have a complete split in the field. We have the battle for the top 6 are a lap in front, the rest are a lap down, and this is our battle now between Damien McMullen and Simon Wall for 5th place at the moment, top 5 position. It is it's one for the books for sure, and I don't envy the stewards in this one for Sean and for
it's just race control here, Jack. Just talking to the 2 stewards, so we're not sure if the guys had a fast repair or not, but it looks like they did because they all came out at the same times. But that has to be the biggest pileup we've had in Digital Motorsports history, I would think. If we look at Damien McMullen, I'll let you back to it, and Simon Wall.
It
I think we've lost.
is also
have I killed you, Jack?
Under investigation as well, so there's still even more. Might have. I'm trying my best here, but technical problems have been my bane of my existence over the past week. So hopefully we're okay.
Oh, you're okay there now.
Getting back into this one now.
I thought I'd just jump on to give you an update from the stewards, but I'll leave you to it.
Excellent. Well, Liam Matthews still leads this race at the moment in the 89. Neil Ferrier is 2nd at the moment and still comfortably where he is at the moment. No issues anywhere for him. Connor Murphy there in 3rd spot at the moment and doing an excellent job. Victor Cullen follows him, and we'll see if he's able to catch up there. There's Simon Wall now in front of him, and oh dear, that's Neil Ferrier, who's now crashed. So Neil Ferrier's put it in the wall somewhere, and he's thrown away 2nd. So Liam Matthews leads. That puts Conor Murphy up to second now, at least it should. And it'll be Victor Cullen up into third, Simon Wall fourth, and McMullen in fifth. So Ferrier's has binned it and put it in the wall. Unfortunate for him, but that's the way it goes. And that puts Conor Murphy up into second. So he'll be happy with that one in this one. Just a couple of people asking who does the investigating. There's two independent stewards, Sean McGinley and Peter McCann, who'll be doing the investigating and dishing out the penalties tonight, or possible penalties, that is. So we'll wait and see what the outcome is out of those ones. Probably going to be hotly investigated for this one, but we'll see what happens in it. So we'll see what the outcomes are over the course of the day. But it is going to be a tough job. Tough job for the stewards. Never an easy one. There's Neil Ferrier leaving the pit lane now. He's just rejoined next to Liam Matthews as well. And that's, I believe that's Jack Byrne just in front of him now. Who's obviously a lap down, so lets him straight through. And Jack Byrne's missing the front of his car as well, which is not good. So he's trying to limp himself around and make it to the finish. So we'll see if he's able to do that. But we don't have long really in this race left. It's only a 10 lap. We're on lap number 5, about to come on to lap number 6 with Matthews at the moment, who is now comfortably in front after Neil Ferrier's mistake. And Conor Murphy up to second on his return to Digital Motorsports. Nice to have him back. And Victor Cullen, I believe, is now running third, isn't he? Yeah, he is. So Victor Cullen in third. Simon Wall is fourth. Damien McMullen is fifth, and Chris McCann is now sixth. So it'll be a split field, of course. Chris McCann's a lap down, so that's, of course, was the huge pile-up we had, the biggest pile-up I think we've ever seen in this one. But right now, occupying that 15th place at the moment is Mark Bernier, and that would be a reverse grid pole at the moment. So Mark Bernier, let's see if he can hang on to that. There is Conor Murphy running comfortably in second spot at the moment. And he's trying to make sure that he hangs on to that. Be a great result for him if he manages to do so. And we'll see now. There is Victor Cullen in third spot at the moment, running really, really well at the moment, actually, in number 5 car. So he's lapping nicely in that third spot. Simon Wall is just in the background of shot there. You can just see him. And there's Damien McMullen as well, occupying that shot as well. So Simon just got past Damien, so Damien's running in the top 5 as well. And that's pretty much where he's going to finish unless he bins it. Chris McCann is a full minute and a bit behind. There he is, speak of the devil. Chris McCann in the 99, lapping around in the VRA racing car, but very different to what he was experiencing around the first lap, or around the first round. He took the win. And he's now lapping in 6th place. Behind him is Wingfield, who started on the front row of the grid. McCloughery, then Mulvey. And then Hederman is in 10th. Aaron Dalton, Timothy England, Neil Ferrier, Mark Bernier, and Jack Byrne are your top 15. So Jack Byrne currently occupies the reverse grid pole. At the moment, he's lapping around with no front wing on. So he's just making sure, he's trying to lap around to make sure he secures himself reverse grid pole. And he should be comfortably in there because that's the last car. I believe he's the last car out on track as well. So he's not too bad at the moment. Not too badly situated. There's Aaron Dalton under pressure from Timothy England. This is for 11th spot at the moment. Little look up the inside from England. And but Dalton has to leave him a little bit of space, but no way through for Dalton. Or for England, sorry. In the 72 car. Here he comes now. Behind the 65. Into the last corner, see if he can get a run very close to that wall. Good slipstream now for England. See if he can take that inside line for the first corner here. It's very wide, this first corner. You can have a think about it, but no, Dalton has a good run through there. England with trying to get a cutback line through there, but not able to do it. And has to stick behind for now in the 72. Run up the hill now, be a good run up the hill. Perfect overtaking opportunity down the back straight. He's going to get very close to the back of him here. Heading up into the back straight. Yeah, I see him tightening the curb a little bit there. Dalton outside line for England here for the chicane. See if you can outbrake him on the outside line. It's nearly better to be on the outside. You carry more speed in here. England tries to go around the outside. No, there's going to be contact, wheel-to-wheel contact. England holds the brakes, manages to, it's just about avoid the wall, spins it into the gravel, but contact between them, and England coming out the worst of those. And could see that coming from a mile away, unfortunately. But Dalton survives, and just behind them, actually, funnily enough, is Liam Matthews, our race leader. And he's just about to lap Aaron Dalton in the 65. And just behind is Neil Ferrier, who's not in second place at the moment. He's a lap down as a result of his own crash. So he's actually in 12th at the moment. So he comes over past him now. Dalton lets him through, no issues whatsoever. And we'll be heading to lap number 8 of 10. So not long left in this race at all. Coming over the hill, Conor Murphy in the number 11, and doing very well in his second place at the moment. Victor Cullen third, not too far behind him, but pretty comfortable at the moment is Conor Murphy. And should be, unless he makes a mistake, but he's keeping it nice and clean, nice and tidy. So should be able to secure himself a second spot. There is Victor Cullen in third spot, and just behind there, Simon Wall starting to catch up a little bit though. Simon Wall, Damien McMullen. Does he manage to keep it out of the wall? No, but I think he managed to avoid damage. I think he got away with that one very luckily. Damien McMullen, remember, back to Virginia, was running in third, put it in the wall and completely knocked himself out. But small error from Damien, but he gets away with it, thankfully, and continues on in 5th spot. And Jack Byrne just trying to get past him there. There's Chris McCann in 6th place, and he is not going to make up any more positions in this one. That's the best he's going to be able to do, but he should be starting mid-pack at the worst. James Wingfield just behind him. And interesting stuff all the way through. Aaron Dalton now, he's Neil Ferrier has actually just passed him for 11th spot. That's Neil in front of him. So that's Aaron losing a spot. And he falls down to 12th as a result of that pass in this one. Damien Mulvey, who's down in 9th. Ronan Hederman's on his tail at the moment in the number 2 car. We'll see if Ronan can maybe make his way through on Damien here. Not sure if he's going to be able to, but he'll certainly give it a good go. Just trying to catch up to the back of him here. But so now on board with Ronan. I think into the last sector here, just trying to follow Damien Mulvey around. See the amount of steering lock he has to put in through that last corner. Now he is in the draft range for sure, but he's not going to be able to make a move into turn 1 here. It's just too far back, but he'll get a nice run up the back straight for sure. And takes a very wide line through turn 1. You can actually do that. There's a lot of runoff available on the outside of turn 1, but it is not very grippy out there, so you got to be careful with how much you use. Oh, it's always a fine margin. It's a balancing act in this one of what you want to do, or how you want to negotiate. Matthews still out front. Only has a lap and a half left right now. He's on lap number 9 of 10. And is on course to take a win here from pole position. It's not a bad effort at all from Liam. Got the perfect start. Managed to avoid the chaos behind him. And which will wiped out no less than 13 cars in this one. And he's lapping comfortably at the front at the moment. And we will we'll see if we can get another new winner at the top step. Conor Murphy at the back, just in the background there in 2nd. And then in 3rd spot, of course, is Victor Cullen at the moment in that 3rd place, doing an excellent job. Now, Simon Wall not quite going to be able to catch up to him, I don't think. I don't think it's going to be enough for Simon to catch up to 3rd spot with just about a lap left when we go across the line this time by. Has been chipping away at the gap slowly, but it's too little, too late, I reckon. As, oh no, Chris McCann, he's put it in the wall. and crashed himself out of 6th. Now, that car is in pieces for Chris McCann. For Chris, he's going to drop way down. So obviously pushing on. He was trying to obviously get himself, or trying to make as big a gap as he could. Pushing too hard, put in the wall. And that's the second time he's had to go to the pit lane, and he won't have a fast repair this time. Ronan Hederman, great run on Damien Mulvey now, into the braking zone for the chicane. He locks up on the outside, though. Damien gave him a little squeeze on the inside, snatched the brake, did Ronan, to keep himself behind. These guys still have a lap and a half to go. They're a lap down, of course, remember, so he will have another go, but that will be a bit of a close call for Ronan. So he's going to hang behind for now, but just snatching that brake heading in there, and had to keep himself behind. But Liam Matthews, he has been in complete control the whole way through this race in the 89. Pole position, led every single lap of this one, and has had no issues from behind at all in this race. And has put on a fantastic display. Conor Murphy, what can you say? Brilliant drive. Has done an excellent job to get himself up to where he is. Just keeping himself out of trouble, out of the barrier. As well, Victor Cullen, excellent drive as well. Simon Wall, he's not far behind him, but he's not going to have enough to catch him. He's just going to hope that Victor makes a mistake here. As here we go, through the last 2 quarters in heat race number 1 here at Watkins Glen. It is going to be a new winner on the top step here in the Digital Motorsports Pro-Am Championship. It is going to be Liam Matthews, who almost puts it in the wall in the last corner, but he is going to take the checkered flag. Liam Matthews wins in Watkins Glen in heat race number 1. And now we await Conor Murphy, who is going to take 2nd place in his return to the championship. There he is, checkered flag for Conor Murphy, 2nd spot for him. Victor Cullen, a 3rd place in the number 5. Simon Wall is 4th. Damien McMullen, he's going to hang on, and great drive from Damien. He's going to take 5th place right now, almost threw it away, but managed to hang on to it. And we wait now for James Wingfield, who was in 2nd spot and was involved in that 13-car pile-up on lap number 1. And he's just going to bring it home for 6th place. And it looks like, I think, reverse grid pole is going to be Timothy England. We'll await the confirmation of that when we get to the end of the race. Damien Mulvey, Ronan Hederman not close enough to go for it on Ronan. So Ronan's going to probably have to settle for 9th place. So we'll enjoy this one. Remember, we do have a feature race coming up next time as well, with the top 15 inverted to a reverse grid for this one. We'll have Timothy England, looks like, on the reverse grid pole position. So the 13 car of James Wingfield limps it home. He'll take 6th place in this one. Comes to the last corner. Will take the checkered flag, at least. That's the main thing. And 6th place for him. It'll be Ben McClockery in 7th. Just behind him. There's Ben. And then just coming into shot, that'll be Damien Mulvey behind him, and Ronan Hederman just behind him in the 2 car. Takes the checkered flag for 9th place. Neil Ferrier will be 10th. Mark Birney, Jack Byrne, Chris McCann, Pat Marston, and Timothy England will be your reverse grid pole man. So hopefully we'll be able to get a better run of it next time through the chicane. Hopefully we don't have the same kind of pile up that we did. We'll pray for that at least. Heading into the warm up, 3-minute warm up that the guys have. We're just still waiting for the car to cross the line. I believe it's Venkateshwar we're just waiting for to cross the start finish line before we can move on to the next part of this evening's running. He just comes into the pit lane now while we tick down to the warm-up. But Liam Matthews, a new winner in the Pro-Am Championship. So welcome to the winner's circle to Liam Matthews. Jack Byrne took a double last week. Won't be doing a double today, but he will be starting from the 2nd row of the grid next to Chris McCann. That's going to be a great race between those guys. So here's your official heat race 1 results then. Liam Matthews taking it ahead of Conor Murphy. Great drive from Conor. Great to have him back. Victor Cullen in 3rd. Simon Wall is 4th. McMullen, Wingfield, McClockery, Mulvey, Hederman. Then Ferrier, Bernie, Jack Byrne, Chris McCann, Aaron Dalton, Pat Masterson, the England, Owen Murray, and Dave Freeman. And of course, all those guys involved in the lap 1 instance. So you can see all those guys who are a lap down or just coming onto a lap down, all involved in the smash. And we will hope that we don't see that again in race number 2. We're going to take a quick break here on the broadcast side, and we'll be back after a quick message from our sponsors.
Enjoying what you're watching and want to become the next sim racing star? Here at Digital-Motorsports.com, not only can we supply all the parts, but we can custom build your dream simulator rig from start to finish. Just like we have done for world famous drivers like rally legend Craig Breen, drift superstars James Dean and Conor Shanahan. We can build, deliver and set up your full custom simulator rig in your home and offer round the clock support to keep you racing to the top. To find out more, visit Digital-Motorsports.com.
They say that perfection doesn't exist in this game. Most players just don't have it in them. But those who dare to seek it might catch excellence. And that sounds perfect to me. So, I'm done playing. Let's drive.
We're back. Jack, Niall here. I said I'd join you for this feature race because it's going to be one hell of a race. Are you there?
Absolutely, I am. Won't be going anywhere for this one. Just a quick message as well, or a quick thank you to all our sponsors as well, to SIMUCUBE, to SimTag, and of course to Motorsport Ireland, everyone who makes this championship possible as well. But a new winner in the form of Liam Matthews, but he's going to be starting from 15th. But we made some history there, Niall. The biggest crash we've ever seen in the championship.
I think so. That's why I was saying. I said I'd jump into the commentary booth for this one because this is just it's going to be a 15-lap race, and I'm looking at this thinking to myself, this is a real anybody can take the win here. But I'm going to go out on a limb. It's been a while since we've seen James Wingfield, and what about Conor Murphy in that race as well, turning up and just showing the pace he's got. Well, these guys are out doing their I think that's their 3 minutes up now, so we might see them start to grid up. But who tickles your fancy, Jack, before we go to the grid?
Well, it's going to be a tough one. I don't know. I couldn't call who's going to be taking the win at this one, but going to be watching for Chris McCann and Jack Byrne from row 2. I think they're going to be the ones to keep an eye on. Here's your grids for this one. It's actually not. It's Pat Masterson on the pole. Aaron Dalton is second. Second row, of course, Chris McCann and Jack Byrne. Like I said, Mark Birney. Neil Ferrier is 6th, and then it'll be Ronan Hedeman, Damien Mulvey, Ben McClockery, Wingfield, McMullen, Wall, Cullen, Conor Murphy, and Liam Matthews. Timothy England just missing out there, 16th. Owen Murray, Dave Freeman, and Kshitij Venkateshwar at the back of the grid. And just a note on Venkateshwar as well. We'd like to mention every week he just likes to be called Bruce because he can't be bothered with people trying to pronounce his name. Thanks, Bruce.
Well, I heard from the steward as well. He is under full inquiry for that lap 1 incident in our heat race. But I'm going to go back on my word here. I'm going to say if Pat can keep this clean and get clean air out in front, I think Pat Masterson could do this one. I don't think he's had a win with us yet, but he's always thereabouts. As we go, lights out, Jack, over to you.
Absolutely great start from Pat Masterson. Did get the clean start that he wanted as the head over the grid for the first time, down towards turn number 1. Hopefully keeping it clean this time, lads, coming through turn number 1. It is Masterson who leads out front and has done a nice job to keep himself in there as they come up the hill for the first time. And you see Masterson, Jack Byrne slotting in behind Chris McCann, losing places there. But Jack Byrne, of course, ever the fast starter, into second place already in this one. Remember what he did in Virginia, really started out nicely, and you can see it is Masterson with a clean start. Burns all over him, those to head into the braking zone for this chicane, and they make it through cleanly this time. No big smash this time, thankfully. Well, no 13 car pile up as in this one, at least, as they head through the chicane. But it is Masterson with the clean stop, but Jack Burns all over him immediately.
Let's just look further down this grid. It's so packed up, but they've all managed to get through. Nice light. There's a puff of smoke there from somebody who's running wide, but let's go back out to the front with Pat Masterson with Jack Byrne breathing all over the back of him, Jack.
It is, of course, Jack Byrne, who's always a fast starter in this championship. But Pat Masterson, very experienced in this championship as well. You can see a bit of side-by-side action in the background as well. That's Chris McCann trying to go up the inside of a couple of cars there as well. A little lock-up from somebody there as they came into the right-hander. A little scrap on. There's Conor Murphy and Victor Cullen going at it side-by-side in the middle sector. Cullen on the outside, Murphy on the inside of your shot. He's going to go up the inside and take that position. By the looks of it, no, still a good scrap between the both of them. Cullen going all the way around the outside there. Good effort. Liam Matthews in behind them as well. These are the guys who finished up the order, but Cullen comes out the better of them in that when he runs wide onto the grass. Wide. Does he keep it together? I think he did. But across the line, Masterson is still your leader.
It is the wall in the background. Who was that?
That looked to me like it may have been Timothy England, I think, but I think he may have got away with a big lock up there from one car going into turn number one. That's gone miles wide. Completely, almost a big smash there, but I think they managed to about avoid it. But I think it was just a car locking up there, the 65, I think, locking up going into that corner. But Pat Masterson still managing to bridge the gap, but now he's got tough opponents behind him. He's got Jack Byrne and Chris McCann on his tail. Neil Ferrier is there as well in 4th place, right there behind him. There's Conor Murphy with Victor Cullen right behind him. Murphy got past him, but Cullen is having none of it. Back up the inside through the chicane, side by side, very close to contact, but they don't make contact somehow. But Cullen comes back out in front. Liam Matthews now fancies a goal on the back of them as they head through. Dave Freeman is also up in the top 10. Well done, Dave, starting from the back of the grid as well. And you can see now there's Venkateshwar. He started right at the back of the grid, and he's now fighting with Timothy England for this position now. This is just outside the top 10. He's fighting for 10th here, is Venkateshwar. But Conor Murphy with Liam Matthews all over him. The race 1 winner is all over the back because he's the guys 1 and 2 in the previous race. Conor Murphy ahead of him now. A little puff of grass. McCarr, I think possibly with a slowdown now. Victor Cullen could be in trouble from Conor Murphy here. Outside line for Conor. Does he take the position? Cullen's going to go late on that brakes, and he's going to lose 2 spots here with Matthews around the outside. Brilliant stuff from the both of them. Murphy comes out in front. Dave Freeman's in the mix now as well as they head through. And there you can see Matthews pushing Conor Murphy through. Cullen lights it up on the outside line, gets the power down. Lovely move on Liam Matthews if he can hang it around the outside of the next corner. Yes, he does. Lovely overtake and confidence in the car from Victor Cullen right there. But this is the fight we want to see. We had this ruined with the 13 car pile up in race number 1. But we know what these guys do. It's just great racing.
Absolutely, like this. We're just going to stick with this pack here, but this is the race we wanted to see. As Liam Matthews coming back at Victor Cullen here, he's going to try and hang it on the outside and use the cutback. I think he has. It'll be interesting to see here if Victor can keep the speed. Now it's all going to be for this run as they go up to shoot. I think Victor's just been a bit smart there, Jack, and just getting in behind so he can get this toe down into the bus stop.
Yeah, he's going to just lose that position again, but he'll get the toe, like you mentioned, down into the chicane, very close. You can see the draft he'll get right now. What's Liam going to do here? Is he going to leave that position open for him as they head through? Here comes Cullen back up the inside. He's got the inside, and he retakes the position. Does he manage to get through the chicane in one piece? Yes, he does. So he takes the positions back again, but that's given Conor Murphy a bit of breathing space from this one. You can see he's managed to gap them. This is the battle for 7th, by the way, as they come through. Dave Freeman just watching what's happening in front of him as they come through a little bit of a slide.
I think that was car 65 and car 2 under investigation by the steward, so we'll wait for an update on that. But this is exactly the race, as you were saying. If we didn't have that unfortunate absolute smash up of 13 cars in the first race, this is what we were expecting from these Pro-Am drivers. Let's just go back up at front and see how Pat Masterson's doing. He's opened that gap, Jack. I was saying if he gets that clean air, I put my fancy on him before that green light came on, so my money's on Pat here. But all the time, Jack Byrne and now Chris McCann behind, closing in all the time. So the top three pulling away a little bit from Neil, which is surprising. But let's just jump back with Victor Cullen and Liam Matthews in this ding-dong battle here, Jack.
Yeah, you can just see now Cullen's actually bridged the gap up to Conor Murphy, and now there's a new challenger up front in the form of Mark Baird. He's going to lose the position to Conor Murphy with a good run, and they go 2 by 2 down towards turn 1. Matthews to the inside of Cullen, Murphy to the inside of Bernie as they head to the inside of for turn number 1. Conor Murphy moves ahead, as does Liam Matthews, and now this is the fight for the top 5. So Conor Murphy back into the top 5, but Cullen again gets the run out of turn 1, but also now Matthews will have the run on Mark Bernie at the same time. So this could nearly end up being 3 wide into the chicane right now. So Bernie's going to get the draft, as will Matthews down towards the chicane. on board now with Victor Cullen. He's going to see, are they going to go 3 wide? I wouldn't do that if I was Liam Matthews right now, but you can see Bernie to the outside line, late on the brakes from Cullen. Can he get around the outside? No, he can't. Oh no, it ends in a small bit of contact between, that was Liam Matthews and Mark Burney, and he can't keep it out of the wall. Liam Matthews goes into the wall after a slight bit of contact there between himself and Mark Burney, and that battle unfortunately ends with contact, which is such a shame. It was such a great fight, but just ends up in a tiny bit of contact, and Matthews almost saved it, but ended up in the wall unfortunately, and is going to have to tow back to pit lane as a result of that. But back with our leaders right now, Masterson, Jack Byrne, but Chris McCann is putting pressure on Jack Byrne. Neil Ferrier is closing in there as well. He's just behind the both of these guys. And Masterson already catching up to some lap traffic. Little bit wide from Jack Byrne right there through the left-hander. Both of these guys are race winners this season. Pat Masterson has not won a race this season. In fact, he actually lost a win to Jack Byrne in Virginia. So remember that. So Pat will want to get one back. Neil Ferrier is also a race winner as well. So 3 of our race winners this season are all right here. Pat Masterson up at the top as well. So we'll see if Pat can secure himself his first win. He's never won in Digital Motorsports ever. So if he see if he secures his first one, that'll be something for him after so long in the championship. We'll see what happens. He just gets past, I believe that's Simon Wall, who's just a lap down there behind him. But I think it might have been a good call, Niall. I think Pat's looking in good form here.
I'm just looking, Mark Burney and Liam Matthews are under investigation as well for lap 4 incident. Of course, we're only starting lap 5, so we've another 10 to go. What a race this has been. But out in front, I don't want to give him, I wouldn't consider myself a commentator as such, Jack, but I don't want to give him that curse of saying that he's in the running here. But let's go back, because Jack Byrne now is right up, he's been overtaken by Chris McCann, but these two are really neck and neck racing the whole way through, and I'm wondering, are they just working together now at this stage with that draft down the back straight to close that gap in, because they need to start working together rather than fighting to close in that gap on Pat Masterson, Jack.
Yeah, I just saw the move in the background between them. McCann just went around the outside into the chicane. Byrne didn't really fight it, but we'll see if now Chris can maybe try and bridge the gap up. But right now, Pat's actually opening the gap a little bit right now, and actually at the same time, Neil Ferrier is closing in as well. There's James Wingfield clattering the curb there, and he loses a spot. So that looks like, to me, that's Aaron Dalton. I think Wingfield's got damage on that car. As we now look, Mark Burney versus Dave Freeman, who goes up the inside. Lock up for Dave, though. Snatches the brake, and he's going to go off into the grass, and has to really carefully get back on the circuit, and does do so. There is now Wingfield coming back at Aaron Dalton down towards turn 1. There's Matthews coming out of the pit lane as well. Wingfield trying to go for the switchback line. That is textbook driving from James Wingfield. Absolutely beautiful. Lined that up perfectly through turn 1. And that is the perfect demonstration of the switchback maneuver. And made it work lovely. Now, back to these guys. This is Chris McCann and Jack Byrne. And now let's see if they really are working together, because we're going to see if if Chris is going to fight Jack Byrne coming through. Byrne's, look how close he gets up the hill. He's already pulling alongside. He's going to have to go to the outside line. He's probably going to have to dive back into the slipstream for a second here. But Jack Byrne to the outside of Chris McCann into the chicane. Is there going to be a fight put on?
All the time, Neil is just loving this because they aren't working together. They're actually battling hard. And look how much that's allowed Neil.
Oh no!
Say that. Oh my God.
Neil Ferrier gets into the back of Jack Byrne, sends him around, and Neil as well tows back to pit lane at the same time. Jack Byrne, oh, it's going to be such a shame for him. Mark Burney in a fight of his own at the same time, fighting with Kshitish Venkateshwar. Remember, Venkateshwar has started last, and he's now fighting for a top 5 in this race as well. So great job from Kshitish. As we now ride on board with Chris McCann, who's now in second. But he's got 3.2 seconds to make up to our race leader, Pat Masterson. So there's a little bit more breathing space because of that fighting. But Chris will be trying to get his second win of the championship under his belt. But here's Venkateshwar and Mark Burney. And Venkateshwar started at the very, very last position. He started at the very back, and is now trying to just get himself past Mark Burney, who survived that incident that happened in front of him. Let's see now as he comes through the left-hander. But this seems to be a trend that the guys who start last always seem to come in through the top 5 somehow.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it here, but it's unfortunate that we had that incident between Jack and Neil, because I was really lining up to be a great battle, and I see Liam Matthews has come back out of pits and he's into the top 10. If we go back to Ben McCluckery here against Damien McMullen, I think that is, if I'm not mistaken, it is, yeah. Again, just this field is opening back up a lot, Jack, which is unfortunate because we're seeing some great racing. But I just wanted to point out as well, I'm just wondering here is, when we were looking at round lap 5, that's only 2 laps ago, Jack. Victor Cullen, Connor Murphy, Matthews and Byrne, I believe it was, were all in a gaggle for racing, and now we've got these big spread out grid here behind us, which is unfortunate to see, but still great racing up front by a race leader, Pat Masterton. I did give him that tip at the start, so as long as you got 8 laps to go, keep that head down there, Pat. Let's get this done.
Yeah, and he's got some lap traffic coming up to the back of them now, so he's going to have to deal with that. That is actually Ronan Hederman, I believe, in front of him, the number 2 car. So he'll have to get past Ronan and I believe Damien Mulvey and Ben McCluckery. That was the battle we were just looking at, actually. So Pat's catching up to the back of them. And yeah, Pat is just he's the pace setter at the moment. He's opening the gap out to Chris each time, little by little. So he's just matching each other for lap time. And Ronan now trying to get past Damien Mulvey. That's for 12th place. So he's trying to recover. And there is Pat, just on the back and just coming around the last corner. That is Chris trying to catch up to the back of him at the same time.
Another incident being looked at. I think that's the same one, is it? Race stewards. It's just a racing incident, they call that. So that's between Mark Burney and Liam Matthews. So no further investigation there as we stick with Pat Masterson. He's matching, as we were saying, lap for lap with Chris McCann. So we'll just see if we can bring up those lap times and just see. Well, actually, he's not. He's lapping a hell of a lot faster than McCann at the moment. So we'll expect to see that gap increasing between first and second place. We go back to Connor Murphy, who's having a race all on his own at the moment, Jack. But it's great to see Connor back.
Yeah, it is. It's we've missed Connor around. He's a veteran in the championship. For those of you who don't know him, he's been around since the early days, back in the VRA days, with the GT Championship, moving into the Formula 3s as well. So nice to have Connor back. He was always quick in those, just getting back up to speed now in these junior USF2000s. But right back on form. Oh, that's a spin for Aaron Dalton in the background. He's a lap down, so he manages to avoid. But you can see there. And he's managed now. Has he got beached on the curb? Don't tell me he's got beached on the curb.
As I'm saying,
or is he just
Pat
waiting?
Masterson's coming around as well, Jack. So Pat coming up on a lot of traffic here at the back. Now let's just watch those times with Chris McCann. Got 4 seconds at the moment. And how is Pat going to play this one?
I think he's being calm, collected at the moment. He's still opening the gap. I don't think. I think the guys in front are going to be respectful of him as well. I think they're not going to. They're not going to make it hard for Pat here to get past, and it'll be nice to see Pat get it when he's a lovely guy, and it'll be nice to see him get on the top step of the podium here. So you'd see Roland running a bit wide through turn 1 there. Here we go up the top of the hill then. Get an idea of the speed here. So I think if Pat gets a decent run, he might actually be able to get past Roland here. He's got a really nice run on him here, up towards the chicane, and Roland's definitely not going to make it hard for Pat here, down towards into the chicane. So gets in the slipstream, and you can see the overspeed now. Roland sees him coming, but now does let him through there, opens the door for him, no issues whatsoever, and straight through for Pat Masterson. He's
nice Toyota branding in there for Pat. I'll tell you what, I'll never hear the end of this, Jack. I'm thinking to myself, if I keep saying Pat's going to do a great race and all of a sudden something happens to Pat Masterson, I'm sure as soon as this lockdown is over, there'll be a knock on my front door from Pat Masterson. I think every time I've given him a nod in a race or said, here comes Pat Masterson, the next thing, or put the mockers on him or the commentator's curse or whatever it is. But hopefully this time around, during the last 6 laps here at Watkins Glen, he can keep that head down, and I think he's just picking them off one at a time, and he's managed to even extend that gap out to Chris McCann at this stage, so he's going really well, Jack.
Yeah, of course. I remember meeting Pat at the Ploughing Championships, I think, 2 years ago.
That's
when
right.
he was with Toyota over there. And I remember them being fiercely competitive over the tractor hot lap in Mondello. So he wouldn't give up until he was on the top steps. So
right.
we know Pat. Pat will always keep the head down and keep going. So he's not got long left to do that. So
Fiercely competitive. Actually, now you reminded me of that. I think we spent every lunchtime just trying to get him to fire up that Supra, because of course he did was it the Supra launch at that? I think it was. Yeah,
it was.
He was having none of it. So, but Conor Murphy now. I'm just looking. Has Conor managed to close in? He hasn't. But Chris has fallen back. So I think maybe the VRA guys of Ronan and Chris McCann might work together here. You wouldn't know, but Chris has fallen back now to over 6 seconds. So yeah, it is for Pat to kind of give away at this stage. I don't want to put too much on it, but he's a second and a lap in his back pocket here, so he's doing well. As Damien Mulvey is still battling away with Ben McCluckery here.
Yeah, I just saw on that on the graphic when Chris McCann lost. I actually saw his mistake that he made. It was that he just got a big chunk of oversteer through a corner. Had to slam on the brakes and lost about 2 seconds. There's James Wingfield back into the top 10. Makes it past Damien McMullen. Looks like Jack Byrne is now totally out of the race. Well, actually, no, he's just popped out in 8th place. So he is running in 8th at the moment. So ignore the graphic for a moment as he just hops around. Liam Matthews into 9th now. He's chasing him down at the same time. So he's still trying to get a good result of this one. Liam took the race 1 victory. It's now lap 10, about to become lap 11 for Pat. So it's laps are ticking down. He's got still got that lap
here for a lap. You see, as he's closing in onto the back of these 2 back markers.
Yeah, this is the battle. This is a battle between... That's McCluckery. Oh, that's going to be almost contact in front. Not quite, but that's Damien Mulvey and Ben McCluckery that are in front of him. He's going to be hoping that they let him through easily enough here as they come up the top of the hill. Get a sense of the speed right now. Very smooth inputs up the top of the hill. You want to minimize your steering inputs through there to try and not scrub off too much speed. See the back, but big defensive move to the inside there as Mulvey goes for the move on the inside. Pat's going to catch them in the middle of the chicane here, and he's going to be just he's got a 5-second gap, so he doesn't need to try and go for an audacious move here, but he is going to be hoping, probably swearing at them to move out of the way at this point. Down the hill is going to it's going to be a crash in front of him, and Masson backs right out of that one, and he manages to get past cleanly. Mulvey and McCluckery in front of him, and Pat, that's called the Moses effect, just moves them out of the way in that one for Pat. So now he's got clean air in front of him, just didn't take any risks, and back straight off.
Many of those of his 9 lives, many has he used up at this stage, Jack? I don't know, but we're all willingly on at this stage, Pat. So we take a look further back down the field. So we've still got Chris McCann in 2nd place. Chris would be delighted with that position, I think, after the chaos that was in that first heat race. He picked up good championship points here. I'm just wondering, Ronan did let him pass easy in the end. And Conor Murphy, 2 great races from Conor Murphy, really, isn't it?
Yeah, he's on for 2 podiums.
Yeah.
On his return, a 2nd and a 3rd, which is really excellent stuff from him. Victor Cullen is on a good run today as well. I've just jinxed him. But has he managed to avoid damage? I think he might have just got away with it. Through that corner. That's the same thing Damien McMullen did. We're going to keep an eye now. Has he damaged the steering or the suspension? I think he might have just escaped it there. It was a scary moment for Victor Cullen, but he finished 3rd in race 1, on for 4th place right now. So a good shot from him. And
I think he's got away with it, but yeah, maybe we just stop talking about people at this stage. I don't know. Here we are, Jack Byrne. I'm a big fan of Jack Byrne's racing and his style of racing, I have to say. I think Jack always puts in a great show and has so much speed, but just kind of gets caught up in the wrong things at times, doesn't he, Jack?
Yeah, he was just that instant between himself and Neil. It was just wrong place, wrong time for Jack. Of course, he took a double win in Virginia last week, so he's no slouch at all. Is Jack Burns? He'll just chalk this one up to experience. He just got passed by Liam Matthews. We just saw car 51, car 73 under investigation. I believe that's Damien Mulvey and McCluckery are under investigation for that incident between the both of them. But Liam Matthews,
two lads are nearly getting investigated every 3 or 4 laps at this stage. I'm not sure how many times I've seen that sign come up, so maybe it's a glitch on my side, Jack, but it must be. It's come up 3 or 4 times now at this stage. But let's go back out in front. We've been talking a lot about Pat, but really he's just holding that. I think he's just managing this race now at this stage. He's holding off Chris McCann, who's 4.6 seconds back. Then we were talking about Conor Murphy, Victor Cullen, Dave Freeman up in the 5th place. Another guy, I love the style of racing, a kart, of course. And we went out. We actually raced in Dave's kart that time. That was a good day out.
Certainly was. Yeah, Dave was. I want to say my engineer for a race weekend. Actually, I drove his car. I didn't break it as well, so I think Dave will thank me for that. But yeah, Dave. Yeah, he's a very experienced karter. He's very, very, very quick in the shifter cars, the gearbox cars. Was a champion in them, so he's no slouch whatsoever. But yeah, he just keeps his nose clean. He started near the back of the grid, on for a top 5 now. Just got past Mark Burney, but Mark's not letting him get away there. Mark's right behind him, right through this right-hander here. But yeah, Dave running really well there and keep himself clean, keep himself honest. But he'll have to keep an eye on his mirrors. And there's Damien Mullen in 11th spot, just outside the top 10, comfortably in 11th at the moment. Actually, I think Damien will be happy with this this race so far.
He's been going well in his sim racing. I've been following him, and he's been doing very well. A couple of good results, but I think he'd like to be further up that grid. In fairness, Jack. As I'm looking back here, James Wingfield, of course, our drivers rep for this race, and for anyone who doesn't understand how that works, we've 2 stewards, and if the 2 stewards get into a disagreement or can't decide, we send on the incident or the appeal to the driver's rep to make the final decision on it, and it's working quite well for us. So again, just as we come in, here's Pat. Well, there's Alexa telling me that she doesn't understand that either. That's no.
She doesn't understand Pat Masterson leading. That's what's going on. Doesn't understand
system. Yeah, what's going on? Let's not put the mockers on Pat Masters now. Everyone, Pat will probably strike me after, but I don't think he's had a win.
He hasn't. As far as I know, he hasn't.
But as you were saying, he's been with us from the very start, and he's always thereabouts. But just another one of those guys who just gets caught up in the wrong thing. So that's why I'm hoping here we're not giving him too much focus. Who's he closing in on the back of?
We'll see now in a moment, but Dave Freeman just lost the position to Mark Burney. I think he made a small mistake, and now he's going to have to try and get back past him again for that 5th spot. Just checking now. There's Damien Mullen, and that's Damien getting well out of the way for him there. So he's obviously sure. He's got a good gap in front, good gap behind. So didn't need to keep pushing. Here's Dave Freeman now trying to retake his top 5 back from Mark Burney. Has a little look on the inside, doesn't go for it. Gets the run up the top of the hill now. We'll see if he's able to retake the position from Mark here. He'll get a good run. Oh no, don't go for it there, Dave. Oh, puts it in the wall. And Mark Burney and Dave Freeman are going to be out of the race there. And that is all she wrote for the 2 of them. And that's going to mean that'll be a top 5 for Venkateshwar from the back of the grid. As a result, there he is. And yeah, top 5 from the back of the grid.
There, yeah. From the back of the grid. Yeah. So that was a great move for him, as you were saying. So we'll just see if we can get back now. So let's run through our top 10 again. So it's Pat Masterson from Chris McCann, Conor Murphy, Victor Cullen, Venkateshwar, Matthews from James Wingfield, Jack Byrne, Damien McMullen, and now it's 10th place, Ronan Hederman. I'm going to have to get the calculator out after this one, Jack, because I don't know what way this championship's going to look.
Timer has just ticked over to 25 minutes. Pat Masterson has won it. Checkered flag. He's done it. He's taken his first win in Digital Motorsports. I just saw it just ticked to 25 minutes as he came to the last corner. He nearly got another lap in, but Pat Masterson has officially become a winner in Digital Motorsports. Chris McCann is second, and Conor Murphy a double podium. Victor Cullen a third place and a fourth place today. And we wait now for Venkateshwar. He's just got a couple more corners to go. He started 19th and is now going to get a top 5 for his troubles by keeping himself out of the incidents. And an excellent job from Bruce. He wants to be called Bruce. That's his nickname. Coming through the last 2 corners.
Bruce
Liam Matthews.
Almighty, yeah. That was a good shout, actually, keeping your eye on that, because I think that caught us out last week at the Pro race as well, Jack, where we went from white flag to checkered flag and caught everyone out. But you're dead right. It's gone over that 25-minute limit. So that's exactly what's happened there. And I'm wondering how many of the drivers did that catch out as well. But good spot on that one. So Jack Byrne,
yes,
is he going to bring it home in 8th place? I think he is. But let's get these interviews ready, Jack, because that's one for the books now, isn't it? Pat Masterson. He'll be delighted with himself. And of course, there in 2nd place, in the end, was Chris McCann. A good rack up of points there for Chris during the feature race. And Conor Murphy, 2 podiums. What about that?
Yeah, a great debut for Conor. A great return, should I say, for Conor. Up 11 places from where he started as well. He started 14th and made it back up onto the podium again. So really, really nice job from Conor. And nice to have him back in the championship. And I'm sure he'll be very motivated to keep going after that performance. So looking forward now to seeing what he's able to do. He's just going to give us a bit of a weave down the straight as a bit of a show. But Jack Byrne recovers to 8th. Not bad from Jack, actually. I think he'll be relatively happy with that. It's still points that he's able to bring forward into the next round of the championship. So here's your official results then. Pat Masterson, long time coming. He's finally taken a win. Chris McCann in 2nd, and Conor Murphy, double podium in 3rd. Victor Cullen is 4th, and Kshitij Venkateshwar from the back of the grid, 5th spot. Liam Matthews in 6th, James Wingfield, Jack Byrne, and Mark Burney, and Dave Freeman managing to get into the top 10. McMullen, Hederman, Simon Wald, Ben McClockery, Damien Mulvey, Aaron Dalton, Neil Ferrier, and Timothy England in 18th spot. And I believe there's just one more car. I think it's Owen Murray down in 19th place at the back. So yeah, that was rounds 5 and 6 of the iDMC ProAM Winter Series. We're just now waiting to get some drivers in to have a chat with us.
Confirmation of our heat race. So it was Liam Williams from Conor Murphy from Victor Cullen. So let's see if we can get some of those guys in at the moment there. So let's start off with see if we can get Victor Cullen in if he's there. I think you're on mute there at the moment, Victor. If you can hear us, he's dropped back out. I'll just try him again. Are you there, Victor? No,
don't think he wants an interview.
Okay, let's try our feature race winner then, Pat Masterson. Pat, are you there at the moment?
I am indeed.
Live on air, Pat. Do you know what? For that whole race there going around, I was saying to myself, stop saying Pat Masterson's going to win this race, because every time I've done that to you in the past, Pat, you've come across some type of trouble on the track. But that time you managed to keep it clean, bring it home for the win. Talk us through it. Great race.
It's normally myself that bins it, but yeah, no, I was really delighted with that race. It's just get out in front, and I wasn't the quickest here all week in practice and stuff, but I put in the quickest lap in the race there, so I was delighted.
Yeah, and it was actually when I seen the reverse grid and that you were on pole, I actually called it, Pat, at the start. I said, if he gets out and keeps it clean in front, Pat might have this. And of course, you had Jack Byrne then all over the back for you. But you managed we were talking about it as you were working your way through the back markers. Were you conscious of the gap, or were you just head down, Pat? Like, what way? Talk us through that, like when you were coming up on the back markers.
Yeah, I was worried with the back markers because it's a tricky track to find a nice spot to overtake and stuff. So I was just taking it handy, and I was seeing the gap slightly grow the whole time. So I was just taking it handy and picking my spots maybe.
Well, anyway, I think that's your first win in iDMC, Pat, isn't it?
Indeed, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Well, look, congratulations on that. A great victory, a well-deserved one as well. And we hope to see you back in the interview room again soon, Pat. Anyone who'd like to say thanks, give a shout out to?
Yeah, just all the guys for putting on the stream, yourself and Digital Motorsport and Jack and all. It's a very professional job, so well done.
Thanks, Pat. Right, let's see who we've got down below. Will we try Victor Cullen again, Jack?
See if he wants to if he wants to have a chat.
Victor, we're not sure if you want to jump in for an interview or not, but if you can hear us, now's your chance. No, he's gone. Right. Let me see down below. Who else have we got? Let's bring Chris McCann in. He's down there. Chris McCann, second place in the feature race. Jack, do you want to take this one?
I can do if you want. Chris, yeah, I mean, it was a kind of bit of an up and down one. Huge smash in race number 1, 13 cars. You were caught up in it, but and then recovering to second in the feature. So I mean, probably a bit of a up and down one. But yeah, talk us through what happened in race 1. We didn't quite see what happened, but just talk us through your view of it.
Well, I came round onto the back straight, and there was just cars everywhere. You're supposed to follow the back of the cars. I did, but this time there was just so much carnage. There was just nowhere to go. Connor, I think, right behind me, somehow made it through the carnage. But what can you do, Willa? Sometimes it happens.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. And yeah, race 2. I mean, it was a battle for a little while, but managing to recover the second. So I mean, you must still be happy with the podium in the feature.
I'm happy enough. Yeah, Pat had amazing pace. I wasn't able to catch him, but second is good enough after. Well, I think I finished 13th in race 1.
Yeah, definitely a good jump as well. But yeah, pretty consistent over the course of the championship. And now we've of course 2 weeks to the next round. What's going to be on the to-do list now? Plenty of practice.
Oh, of course, I've never raced Long Beach, and walls are very close in that track, so there'll have to be a lot of practice.
Absolutely, I think we're all dreading the thought of Long Beach, but we'll see what happens. So, yeah, Chris, before you go, anyone you'd like to give a quick thank you to?
No one I want to give thanks to, but I want to give everyone in eDMC good luck. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Chris.
Sunday. Keep an eye out for that.
That's it exactly. Yeah. All right, thanks, lads.
Okay, we've got next. I think if he's in here, have we got Connor Murphy?
How's it going?
Haha, we do. Connor Murphy back with a bang. You probably haven't had as much time in these cars as anyone else, and of course, after the iRacing Season 2 release there on Monday, that might have worked to your favour because everyone else may have been used to the old setup of the car, but that's not to take away from the 2 races you had, 2 podiums. Talk us through it, Connor.
Yeah, it's only my 3rd time I think driving the car. It's good crack. I just stayed out of trouble, or tried to anyway. Yeah, just kind of dived under a few cars that were decided to do somersaults and got lucky.
And Watkins Glen, is that one of your tracks? Is it a track that you're familiar with, or was it kind of?
I haven't raced on this track now. Would you believe, till the first endurance race we did in VRA, if you remember that long ago.
No way, yeah.
So yeah, a few laps last night and Monday night, and that was about it.
Well, did you enjoy the race?
Loved it. Great to be back.
Oh man, that's good to hear. We're hoping to see more of you because, of course, there's a lot more rounds left in this Pro-Am Championship, and you've racked up some good points here as well. So we'll have to get those championship tables.
I'll be back.
Yeah, sure. Great. Well, anyone we want to give a shout out to or say thanks to before we try and wrap up this stream?
Good luck to the lads competing, representing Ireland, and thank yous for all yous are doing. Fair play to yous.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Connor, look, good man. We'll wrap it up there. Jack, I suppose there's very little else to do. I think we might just give people a heads up on what that eDMC race coming up the weekend. That's going to be really exciting. Of course, you're commentating on it along with Kevin, I believe. So on the screen there for everyone, it's this Sunday, and it's going to be 7 or 8 different nations taking part with the best drivers across Europe. Excited about that, Jack?
I am. I cannot wait for that weekend. It's going to be insane. I mean, I wouldn't miss it for the world. It's in. It's going to be something for the. It is historic. So it's never been done before. It's with all the ASNs involved. Yeah, so Motorsport Ireland are officially in this. You've got the guys from Sweden, Norway, Germany, as well as Iceland are in this one as well.
Poland,
which me and Kevin are kind of sweating over Iceland because they have some serious names over in Iceland. I'll tell you that. But yeah, really looking forward to that. That's going to be on Sunday. It's myself and Kevin doing the commentary for that. So your normal pro series.
Well, I promise to stay away from it. But let's have a quick watch of the press release video that was released earlier this week to give everyone a taste of what's coming up.
Imagine 7 different nations compete for glory toward their nation in one race. Imagine this race was supported by their respective governing bodies. March 14th, you no longer need to imagine. As sim racers and pro drivers meet at the legendary Spa-Francorchamps in the Race of Nations, presented by European Digital-Motorsport Cup. 7 nations, 1 winner. Tune in March 14th to witness greatness unfold as we throne the strongest nation.
Yeah. What more can you say about that? from a sim racers or from a digital motorsports or just purely from a motorsports point of view, it's so cool to see that the FIA and as such the ASMs and sporting bodies are starting to sit up and take notice of this in a proper way. Because I think during lockdown 1, it was a little bit of a tongue in cheek from a lot of the pro drivers turning up. Taking on some of the sim racers, but it was seen as a little bit of light entertainment jack at times, and sometimes, especially in the F1 stuff, wasn't taken as serious as we would have liked to see. But I think everyone had to sit up after a while and realise that there's a little bit more to this, as some of the pure sim racers were putting it up to the professional guys, and I think now everyone is just eager to see what a really pro-run event will look like under the right regulations, with everyone racing the same way, with no nonsense about it, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's in one of my favorite cars as well, the LMP2 Dallara, and at Spa, one of the greatest tracks out there as well. So if you're around on Sunday, if you're not doing anything, well, what else are you doing in lockdown on Sunday? Make sure to tune into that. And as well, of course, we're back for the Pro Series next week, and for some reason we're racing on St. Patrick's Day, so we're going to be flat out on St. Patrick's Day. Hopefully the drivers haven't that's going to be, yeah, we're probably 1 or 2 of the drivers might have had a bit too much getting out onto the track, but looking forward to that next week, myself and Kevin as per usual. But please keep an eye out for the European Digital Motorsport Cup on Sunday. All the details will be coming for that across the socials. Keep an eye for that. Once again, a big thank you to our sponsors, to the Shoreway Group, to SIMUCUBE, to SimTag, and of course to Motorsport Ireland as well, who of course are helping to make this championship possible. So yeah, from all of us here at Digital Motorsports, thanks to Niall for doing the cameras, for myself as always, and thanks to all the viewers at home, and thanks to all the drivers who really always things wouldn't happen without the drivers. So we big thanks to them. But we'll see you all on Sunday for the European Digital Motorsports Cup. If you're not going to tune into that, then we'll see you next week at Long Beach for the Pro Championship. So thank you all. Have a good evening and see you later. Good night.